What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. It's free. It helps get the video out there. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely tap that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. When most people see police officers, the first thing that comes to their minds are upstanding people who stand on principles and morals and took an oath to protect and serve the community. While most probably do take pride in their jobs, play by the rules, love their work, but just like all of us, police are still humans. If you come from a certain environment like me, then you know not all cops protect and serve. You have officers that also use their badge for other reasons. Intimidation, extortion, the list goes on. I have seen firsthand drugs being planted on people that got pulled over for made up reasons, like running a stop sign, but they really didn't, just so they can meet a quota or make an arrest, hoping for a conviction, while you got an innocent person fighting for their freedom. Excessive force, even as a teenager. I remember I had a homeboy who got 2 of his teeth knocked out by a police officer for standing on a corner. But a lot of times, corruption is swept under the rug. And one thing officers will do is protect their fellow comrades and ride for that badge. Just like a gang, ironically. They share the same rules. Never leave your fellow officer behind. Protect them even if they do wrong. The uniform comes first before anything. In America, it's thousands of dirty officers operating in multiple cities and states. Most of the time, they go under the radar or just are protected by their force or fellow officers. But every now and again, when a police cross that line and tries to play both sides without letting their comrades know, things can take a crazy turn. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to Milwaukee, Wisconsin to discuss the case of a dirty police officer who used his badge to help a street gang in Milwaukee. Earlier this year, 29-year-old Juwan Matlock was taking pride in being Milwaukee's finest. The young man was a highly decorated police officer, being on the force for over 10 years. Still in his prime, the young officer tried to stay connected to the community. He kept his ears to the street so he could find out who was who, what gangs were beefing, and who were the lead and active members. Juwan's track record started off good as a rookie cop, but as he got deeper into his career, his integrity started being questioned. In one incident, he failed to report a shooting when the victim came in to give him information. Since 2021, the officer had a few more write-ups for misconduct, but most of it got swept under the rug, and he remained on the force. Milwaukee, like many cities in America, has always had a reputation for not being the most safest, with a lot of local gangs running the town. One of those gangs was called BZF, short for Burla Zoo Family. The gang got its name from the street they operated on and heavily protected. Police definitely were familiar with the gang, who was on the radar for multiple crimes, ranging from trapping to murder. It seemed BZF was always a step ahead of the Opps though, or their rivals. They knew locations, what kind of cars the Opps drove, and they were known for having a lot of weapons. An investigation started years ago on the organization. A few members went to jail, but Milwaukee police knew it was more still on the streets. Eventually, one of the gang members became hot. Officers received tips he had guns in his house and got a search warrant. After raiding the house, a gun was found with a lot of ammunition, and the BZF member was taken into custody. But a search of his cell phone would reveal a conversation and text messages that would shock the whole city. The member was in constant communication with a Milwaukee police officer, and that officer was Juwan Matlock. Juwan sent messages about how the gang can beat traffic stops by going on high-speed chases, jumping on the highway. When the gang was on police radar and would be in risk of being raided, he would tell the member when it was coming. He even had conversations with the member about getting multiple Glocks with switches on them, so BZF could have more firepower than any other gang in the area. Juwan also sent pictures of guns, including a chopper or AK-47, so he could sell to the gang. He used his badge and was able to get information on cars and help the gang get addresses for houses with cars that matched the same description of the stolen cars they had, so they could steal the tag, so if police ran it, the make, model, and color would match, giving them a longer run with the stolos before they got hot. He even told the gang member the name of fellow police officers who arrested other members, sending them pictures just in case they wanted to do something about it. But the bombshell was the officer giving the member locations of the Opps or rivals, where they lived at, their hangout spots, so BZF could slide on them and always have the ups. With the text messages, a search warrant was signed for officers to raid their fellow comrade's house. Inside of Juwan's house, they found the gun with a switch on it, along with a lot of ammunition. He was brought in for questioning. When asked was the gun his, he stated yes. When fellow officers revealed the text messages between him and the gang member, Juwan claimed he met the man a year prior. He was off duty and he claimed he knew that man was a high-ranking member of BZF. So he befriended him and decided to go undercover, like in too deep. He claimed he was baiting the member in for almost a year through text messages and presented himself as a dirty cop. Juwan claimed he was just building a case. When fellow officers asked, was the undercover operation authorized, Juwan stated no. And when asked about the guns, switches, information about rivals, other police officers that he was given to the gang, he remained silent. But not long after, he resigned from the police force after 10 years of service. The case was picked up by the feds and an investigation started. Eventually, Juwan was indicted on multiple charges and criminal misconduct. As of now, his attorney is fighting to work out a plea agreement in the case, but as of now, there's no new updates. This is a wild situation, and it goes to show you everybody behind the badge doesn't have good intentions. Bro was playing dirty, trying to play both sides, the streets and the force, giving information to the gang for over a year. He definitely could have got somebody hurt. But I want to leave this one open for discussion. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on the situation in the comments. And remember, we got to succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, crazy story. Fortunately, in this case, nobody lost their life. Just a dirty cop that lost his job. But yeah, y'all leave it in the comments. Tap that like button if you feeling the content. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's another episode of Hood Tales. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.